Coming up next on Kiss My Collectibles, we're joined once again with Alain Bellicha talking about the brand new Budokan 1978 magazine. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube and iTunes.
Look, it's rock and roll!
All right, Kiss Army. It's time to shout it out loud and kiss my collectibles.
Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Collectibles, your source for vinyl, toys, bootlegs, and more. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me as always is...
Tom Shannon with the Rockologist.
And you may notice a couple of people missing. Nicholas Buckland, I'm going to introduce you in a moment, but Nicholas Buckland, who's normally with us, is moving. He's in Australia, and he was not able to be on with us today. So hopefully he'll be back on the next one. With us all the way from Japan this evening for him is Mr. Alain Bellicha. Alain is the...
hello.
He says hello.
Hey, Alain.
He is the famous author of Kiss in Japan, this amazing book, which is now out of print, correct?
Correct.
Correct. And he is also... the person who put this together.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Kiss Takes Tokyo 77. Or you call this a magazine? Would we call this a magazine? Or?
Yes, it was a special issue, so put together with the Kiss Japan fan club, Sakebi. So it was called Kiss Takes Tokyo 77. Sakebi special issue was the full official title. And it's also out of print.
That's correct. So
thank you very much.
That's right. That's a good thing. So Alain is... back with us today because when we had him on, Alain has been with us. This is his third time with us on our little podcast, and we love his work so much. We just love having him back on. But he just announced on his Kiss in Japan Facebook page that he's going to do a 78 issue on the magazine, and I wanted to grab him up real quick and have him on because when we had him on last time back in April, I think, for the 77 magazine, we begged him to do a 78, and he wasn't sure if he was going to do it or not. But I guess peer pressure from the community. I don't know. Why did you decide to do that?
Well, after someone finished a book, it's probably not a good idea. It's not a good time to ask for someone to do another book. So you need a certain time, to cool down and go back to have a normal life for a few months. But yes, of course, the 78 tour was an obvious subject, but I thought I had to do it if I thought I could do it as well as this Tokyo Takes Tokyo 77, and I wasn't confident that I could until I had a second look at the photos of Shinko Music. And as you do research, one thing leading to another, I start to have in my mind what could be a really great 1978 special issue. And one thing leading to another, I found some amazing photos. So I decided I need to do it. So that's why I'm back. And I think everyone will be very, very, very pleased with the magazine when they have it in their hands.
Well, I'm sure that they will.
I guaranteed.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, let me ask something because obviously you've done several books now. And we've talked somewhat on our podcast about a little bit of that process because a lot of people want to do books. I get that, but there are some pitfalls to it. And so I want to come back in a minute and ask you about how you handle the legality of the photographs and stuff in there, because I think from what I see in the world, that's probably the biggest pitfall for anybody that wants to try to do anything printed with Kiss, other than using a logo, it's the photographs. But what I wanted to ask you was, so When you do your books, do you pretty much have in mind ahead of time how this thing is going to be laid out and what you're looking for, or do you build it around the photographs that you decide to use?
Well, in terms of design and layout, yes, I think for this one, the pictures are the picture will speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for this one, I really want to do perhaps the tour book that never was,
Mm-hmm.
as a perhaps a companion to the tour book. Of course, the Japan 78 tour book was released before the tour, since it was sold at the venues, and then of course Music Life magazine made a special after the tour. So for this one, I wanted to focus on unreleased pictures because most of the photos that will be there have never been published.
Fantastic.
So that's really the I think the greatest part of that. And then again for this one, more like the 77, we start with a sort of quick retrospect of 77, the first month of 78 before the tour. The tour takes the large portion of the pages, and then what happens after the tour. So the press coverage, the LP releases, double platinum, the solo albums, and then of course the end of 78. So that's sort of the timeline for the magazine. And so once I had this concept, I thought I could do the magazine. Otherwise, if I was just some pictures put together, it wouldn't have made sense. It has to tell a story. And once I had the story in mind and I had what I could populate the pages with to make the story interesting, then that's why I decided to do the book.
Okay. Well, like I say, the follow-up question on and clearly don't want you to feel like you need to disclose anything that you think is too personal about it, but just so people have an idea, what is the process that you went through to be able to know that you're in good legal standing using the photos that you're using?
Oh yeah, that's actually not only a very good question, a very topical question, because a lot of people are becoming more aware of copyrights and intellectual property, I think, all over the world. And especially in Japan over the last couple of years. I don't know if you're aware of the scandal that happened in Japan with the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
I am not.
No, it wasn't an advert. But in Japan, I mean, when it broke, that was on the news all day long for like 3 weeks. So Tokyo won the Tokyo 2020 Summer Olympic Games. They will organize it. We'll have it here. And after a couple of months, they unveiled their logo for the event, Tokyo 20 Olympics logo. And of all places, a theater in Belgium pointed out that it copied their own logo.
Oh, wow.
And they asked, could you please, they got a cease and desist, a very formal letter, could you please not use that logo because it copied our logo? And the designer just went on said, no, I never saw it before, it was my creation. It created a scandal, terrible scandal.
Wow.
They had to change the logo. It changed the logo.
Wow.
And it's like the social media and the social bashing of the designer put him into hiding so much, and of course all the drama that followed. So in Japan for the last couple of years, we've had a big awareness of intellectual property and copyrights. So to answer your question about the kiss photos, first of all, those photos belong to Shinko Music.
Mm-hmm.
Shinko Music photographer took all the photos. So they are the legal owners of the copyrights. Now, you probably have heard of Lynn Goldsmith recently.
Sure.
Okay. I think she mentioned in an interview that she owned the photo, but she asked Kiss as a courtesy to use their photos and to make a book.
Yeah.
And so any photographer can make a book. and she thought it would be the courteous thing to do to ask Kiss. Shinko Music asked me to do the same thing. I had to get Kiss's, how should I say, acknowledgement that Shinko would license me the photos.
Mm-hmm.
So that I went through that process. It went smoother than I expected. So everything's very very good on that front. And I just want to point out, I don't want to get into trouble. Kiss does not authorize my magazine. It's not an officially licensed. I did not license the logo. I did not license the trademark Kiss logo. I just asked them to allow Shinko Music to license me the photos.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did not object to that. So we went ahead. Shinko was very kind. And so I was able to license the photos. So everything is, as we say in Japan, everything is clear.
There we go. That's I'm just speaking out to our audience that might want to do stuff. That's the way you have to do it.
Right.
I mean, and it makes perfect sense that, you know, it's much better to ask up front than to try to clean it up after the fact. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so just so people know, yes, things are becoming, I wouldn't say more difficult, but you need to go through the right steps, because more and more people are aware of what to do and what not to do. So at the end of the day, there are rules, and if you respect them, it's even better.
Yeah. Did you consider licensing the book through Kiss to use the logo and all that?
I don't think I have the pockets deep enough for that.
Right.
And that would have gotten into a different level of complexity.
Sure.
I would have loved, of course, but then it would have made the request more complicated.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, so I preferred to not get into that.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I think, like I personally, I don't know what it costs to be authorized on a project and be able to use their logo. I don't know what the cost is. I mean, so I think sometimes maybe we just don't know, and we just assume something, you know. But I mean, obviously I think you've got to have a large enough scale, because every bit of that cost is going to be passed on to the consumer. You know, I mean, you're not going to pay them $50,000 and eat it. I mean, I wouldn't. So, it'll be interesting if we can someday find out how much that is, and see what that process is. So anyway, that's all very interesting. I think you did everybody a big service by letting them know that you can't just put Kiss pictures in your written project. You just can't do it. So
it's something we probably didn't think about for a long time. And in the 90s, everyone had fanzines, and we all photocopied and cut pictures from magazines, and we did all kinds of things. But then again, times are changing. That's every year things are changing, so you have to keep up to date. And this year was if you want to license our photo, please ask Kiss management. And so I did, and fortunately it went well.
All right.
So at this point, Alain, since you are now selling or pre-selling the magazine, is the layout complete, or are you still working on it? Where are you at in the process?
Good question. The design and layout is I would say 80-90% done. I'm still waiting from some photos that I selected a week ago. So I selected some photos from slides, and they need to be digitized. I suppose. I think that's the thing. So they have their own their own photo studio. So I have about already half the photos. that I got in digital format. So they have digital archives and they had their manual archives, so physical archives.
Right.
So that process takes a bit of time to get the photos. I should get the last photos this week. I place them on the pages. I do a last round of proofreading, and off to the printer.
Proofreading.
Yeah. Alan did a lot of great proofreading on the Kiss My Wax books.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he won't ask me to proofread, because my goodness, there was stuff in there.
You should never proofread your own work. You know that.
No,
right?
I agree. You know, you just get blind to it. And for everybody that's listening, it's about where Alan is in the project right now. You know, number one, it's fantastic that you've got experience doing these books. You have a good feel for what your time frame is to be able to get to completion and all that. So, you know, everybody be sure to pre-order these books, because, you know, that's really how these things get financed. I mean, it is. And, you know, the fantastic thing is, like I say, Alan has got a successful track history with these. And, you know, I'm sure you're enjoying the deadlines that are coming up, aren't you?
You know, I'm going to start to regret doing it very soon. I know that.
Man, you know, and this is about Alan's books, but I totally understand where you're coming from, and what you were saying earlier about, you know, when somebody has just finished something, that's not the time to ask them if they're going to do something else, because you just get kind of sick of it, don't you?
Oh yes. The you know, the devil is in the detail, and so when I say, you know, it's 90% done, the last 10% is the hardest part.
Right.
Yeah. And yes, but no, not only I've done now two Kiss related publications, but I've been involved in book production for the last 7 or 8 years at work.
Yeah.
So it's I can work very fast. And so I have a command of InDesign, so I can more or less what I see in my mind I can sort of put on InDesign myself.
Right.
And yes, for timeline, you know, I've done project management, so I know I have 2 weeks for this, like 3 weeks for that, and this is going to happen. And so yes, the timeline it's I wouldn't say it's relatively easy, but I'm used to it.
Right.
If anyone wants to start writing a book, my first recommendation would be don't do it.
Well, I
because
don't disagree with
you. Because you are going to make mistakes, and many of them.
Yeah.
And you learn from mistakes from every book. You get better after every book.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, it's not. It's a big undertaking, and of course, Tom can attest to that.
Yeah. I would say, I 100% agree with you, and I would say that if somebody wants to write a book, they need to get that whole process down of what their material is, and then try to sell it to a publisher. Because, only thing I can tell you is I feel very fortunate. You are clearly a very organized person. You're in that field, so you do that all the time as well. And I still remember, I think you were laughing along with a couple of other guys when I said, well, now I just have to learn the InDesign program.
Yes. If you find, I think I wrote on Facebook, I said, there is a steep learning curve.
Yes. And you were correct. And the thing of it is, I fully understood that, you know, and like I say, I've got a, you know, I'm okay learning new stuff. I will tell you that if I had not had massive help, now you can do these by yourself, but if I had not had massive help at the end from a lot of guys, my books wouldn't have come out for another year. It is unbelievable. I mean, mine were basically, you know, we're doing 2 different kinds of books. You know, mine is just, you know, just listing stuff. That's all it is. Yours is more creative. So, you know, anyway, yes. Sage advice. Think twice if you want to if you want to do that. So
we kind of skipped our normal formatting. We kind of got right into it, but normally we talk about things, new acquisitions, things that we might have gotten, things we want to share. And I don't know, Tom, you got anything that you've gotten lately that you want to show?
Well, yeah, and I guess it kind of ties into Kissing Japan a little bit, since I traded a good Japanese piece for this. So yeah, I've got got my first test pressing. I got this from one of the members of which way does that go? Yeah, that's the way it goes. Anyway, nice 1980 test pressing of Destroyer, and a couple of interesting things on this. I traded this for a VIP copy of Come On and Love Me from Japan. A little tough to find, and I'd kind of come into it.
That's a euphemism if I know one.
Yeah.
A little tough to find.
A little tough to find.
It'll only take you 15 years or so.
Yeah, but it's taken me longer to get a test pressing. So now, obviously, it's not from the original test pressing. I find it interesting that two things. One, the guy that made the trade offer to me, when he got these, he got several at one time. And I mentioned to him that, hey, man, if you ever want to trade that, I'd like to get that. That's the date on it is September 18th, 1980. And my wedding anniversary is September 18th. But 81. So this was a year before. But it amazes me how many releases revolve around that September 18th. It is just uncanny. What's going on in 1980 with Destroyer? Anything? I mean, is that a normal thing, Jason? Once they manufacture a bunch of plates, I'm thinking, and it's totally me just thinking, I could be totally wrong. I'm thinking this was right at the time that Polygram bought into Casablanca, and probably as part of the deal, they had to turn in so many of new master plates, and probably had to test them once they made them. I don't know.
You know that the Japanese Yellow Obi collection was released in October 1980.
Okay.
So maybe it's related.
Yeah,
maybe
it could be.
They did some testing, some pressing.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got. So you guys get anything?
Well, yeah, but I don't have it handy. Do I not? Oh, yes, I do. Hold on. So this, excuse me, microphone. So our good friend Ken Gulick, who works over at E1 Entertainment, I haven't sent these out to you yet, Tom, because I suck at sending things to the post office. But Ken supplied us with the new, I guess it's the blue and white swirl copies of Anomaly that come out on December 15th. He sent a set.
Anomaly Deluxe, all right.
Yeah, Anomaly Deluxe, and these are blue and white swirl.
Oh, that looks, it's more swirlish than what your picture on the group looks like.
I had it laying on a black background because I couldn't hold it all and take a picture at the same time. So but yeah, it
looks great.
It definitely looks great. Sounds great. I was playing it. I just got me a new turntable. Moved away
and a microphone.
A new
turntable.
So now I have two turntables and a microphone.
There you go. So, there you
go. But this is a double LP, and it's pretty cool gatefold.
Oh wow! Okay, all right.
So yeah, I mean it looks and sounds great. And Tom and Andrew, I'll have y'all's packages hopefully sent out this week.
I guess the post office lost your book that I sent down there too.
It's not well. My wife is out delivering the mail right now, so hopefully it comes today, but I have no idea.
I got this on Monday.
Oh, yeah!
Well, and he didn't just get that, he got two of them.
Tom thought Volume 2 was so good, he sent it to him twice.
I have Volume 2, and I have Volume 3.
And I'm on my way to the post office today with Volume 1.
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah. Had quite the conversation with the printer yesterday.
Yes.
that was one of the things. So they are opening up every other box that's in there. Yeah.
I don't know if everybody realizes it or not, but Tom did not pack the boxes.
No. I paid the printers to, and they did a really good job. I mean, if that's what we end up is one set like that, I'm okay. But yeah, so
Have a
I
unique
signed,
set, so to speak.
yeah, I signed all the books, and then they had a crew over there taking the books and wrapping them in the bubble wrap, and and putting them in there, and that's the only one so far. But that's a one. So,
Right.
so
I,
what's that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Alan.
No, I just got a couple of things. I didn't open them, but I was in Tokyo yesterday, and I went some vinyl hunting, shopping / treasure hunting. I just got this rock and roll over
Cool.
with the obi, nondescript, except it was a promo, white label promo.
Oh wow. Wow.
So that was a really nice find.
So let me ask you, Alan, when you
Yes.
find something in the wild like that,
Yeah.
is it does that particular store owner, realize what they have, and do they mark it up accordingly, or is, the phenomenon here in the US seems to be now that there's not a lot of great stuff, like super rare stuff like that out in the wild, because the store owners usually grab them and put them up on eBay before they put them out in their store. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
we
curious.
have the same thing here. A lot of stores put their things on auction.
Yeah.
But then this one, well, sometimes you're lucky. You get
Okay.
you get that one. So yeah, it was. It's not. It doesn't have the poster. It doesn't have the sticker. But when I saw when I saw that, I didn't
Yeah.
think twice. That
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
find a white label promo. That you can see them from time to time on being sold. It's not like a test pressing or something very rare. But still, when you find one, I recommend you
Sure.
pick it up if the price is not too outrageous. I also find those two Gene Crazy Collection
Nice.
in fantastic condition, and Ace Crazy Collection as well. So I would consider that to be a good hunting
I would
trip.
too. Yeah.
Um, Sometimes when I find like one in a million, I usually post a picture on the group, but most of the time, I come back empty-handed. That's more common nowadays. So
I see.
finding three good LPs was a good trip that time.
Nice. Very
It
nice.
is.
All right. So let's proceed forward. So let's talk about, I guess, Kiss in Japan 1978. Let's
Oh yeah, let's.
Yeah. So you said you got out. So your magazine isn't just like 77 wasn't just photos. It was basically told the story of Kiss in Japan in 77. You talk about all the releases and things like that. So, how do you want to just talk about the scene in Japan in 78 and maybe how your storyline's going to go in this particular magazine, or is that too big of a question, or
Um, I don't really like spoilers.
okay, fair enough.
I really want people to, for example, for movies, I don't like to watch teasers. It's like, especially when they tell the whole story most
Yeah.
of the time in the new ones. So I like to be surprised. I like not to know what the story is.
Okay,
So
fair
here
enough.
again, what I can tell you, I can guarantee you, is that you will see a lot of photos that you have never seen before, and going in depth, in detail of the whole Kiss in Japan in 1978. The Shinko Music people were very kind to open their archives for me, and I just wanted to share that with everyone as much as I could. I just want to show you a couple of things, and I'm going to flash them so you can't try not to pause when you watch it, but some really cool photo sessions that I get, that I was able to scan, and so these kind of things will be there.
That's great.
These are black and white, and so these are from, I think, March 31st, 1978. Features Kiss, of course, with monsters and with the geisha, and so you will see quite a lot of these in the book. So these are the only black and white slides that I've had. All the other ones will be in color.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes, in full color, in all their glory.
Where in the world can everybody get Kiss in Japan?
You mean Budokan 78?
Budokan 78.
That's right. So the new magazine's name is Kiss Budokan 78. You can contact me by email. My email address is bellish@gmail.com, BALISH@gmail.com, and I'll send you all the information. Just to let you know, one copy is $19.78. Easy to remember. With shipping to most countries, it's $27.78. But if you send me an email, I'll give you all the details with my PayPal information. If possible, payment should be made in Japanese yen. I'm flexible, but so please don't hesitate to drop me a mail, and I'll give you all the information to get your hands on this magazine. Please remember, it's not available anywhere else, and I am not keeping thousands of copies. I have a small house. If you figure 50 magazine in a box, how many books can you fit in a small room? That's about the number. So all the other publications have sold out relatively quickly. So if you're interested, don't hesitate to contact me.
Now, do you have a projected ship date on it yet?
If all goes well, I should start mid to end of January.
Perfect. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to have.
Thank you
It's gonna be great to have.
You got something, Tom?
I don't think I will be ready for the Atlanta Expo, but that's too bad.
Yeah, it is. That's a shame. Are you planning on coming to the Atlanta Expo anyway? Or do you normally make it that far? I know you're in the country quite often.
No, not for this one, I'm afraid. That's a bit of a stretch. I was on the cruise back in November.
Right.
No, January is a bit of a strange time to be traveling for me.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be interesting. You definitely have to watch to see how that goes with that convention. I'm wishing them well. We're going to be there, and well, it seems kind of an interesting lineup that's down there. I mean, I'm looking forward to meeting Vinnie Vincent at that thing and getting some stuff signed. But hopefully it'll all come off the way they want it to.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's a pretty interesting lineup of people, and the community of people that's going to be there as well. There's a lot of authors going to be there. Julian Gill's going to be there, and Kurt Gooch and Jeff Seuss is going to be there. Daddy Trunk's going to be there. There's a lot of big personalities are going to be at the convention, so it'll be an interesting get together. So
yes, it sure sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I could make it. I know people from all over the world are making the trip, so it's it got quite a big momentum. It's exciting.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some Kiss Japanese stuff as far as what's going on today. So, have you heard if they're ever planning on doing any more vinyl pressings over in Japan? I know that at the Japan convention recently they had the Gene Simmons toilet paper dispenser, but are they gonna do some LPs maybe again?
Well, Sony reopened pressing
Yes.
plant. Kiss is not on Sony. Kiss is on Universal.
That's right.
So I read an interview with I think it was the president of Sony that said that they will start pressing Sony artists first. So if there is any plan for Kiss, it would probably be at least in 2 years' time, because they will give priority to their artists, Sony's artists. So who knows? Would be good.
I was at a record store day summer convention in New Orleans back this summer in the U.S., and we had a lot of guest speakers there, and there was a couple of representatives from Japan, from a pressing plant over there, and it wasn't Sony, because I'd read that Sony, but there's another, I think, private plant that has. I guess they have continually been pressing vinyl.
I think I know them. I think I know them. Do you remember the name? Because I think they're the ones that I contacted when I wanted to do my 7-inch single present for the 3rd edition of Kiss in Japan.
Yeah,
and that didn't go down well.
Oh, no, I don't recall their name. I have their flyer here somewhere from that convention, but it's been
because it's probably that one, because it was the only pressing plant remaining in Japan.
Yeah, and they were talking
before
about,
Sony opened them.
Correct, and they were great. They were just great. Their presentation was great. Their the facilities, the photos they showed of their facilities was great.
Yeah. And they weren't expensive, because I was very close to doing it. I mean, I sent them all the data, and they looked at it. Oh, is that Kiss? I said yes. I said, but there's no music, there's no copyrighted content. It was the press conference. I had the 77 press conference recorded, so there's no music involved.
Yeah,
and it was in a public space. But they declined.
They declined.
Yes.
But just because they were afraid of some kind of repercussion?
No. You know why? Because a few months later they were pressing Kiss Rocks Vegas.
Ah, okay. They didn't want to rock the boat.
No, they didn't. And I understood that in retrospect. And I thought that was probably a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Probably smart business decision on their part.
Okay, so that's, what is that? Is that Where? Isn't that what their name is? Because it was weird, the name, to me. Shoot, I'll never be able to make it out in the. Anyway, Ward, that's who it is. Isn't that who did it in Japan?
No, Ward was the that's the company that put together the package. The company that pressed the vinyl is a different company.
Okay.
Do you know their name? Can you say their name?
If I remembered, if I could find the business card, I could.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I have, their business card and a flyer. I have a company history flyer on them, and it's here somewhere. But I didn't anticipate talking about them until you mentioned Sony.
It's the only. It was before Sony reopened. It was the only remaining pressing plant in Japan.
Right.
Pressing vinyl company. So.
All right, so I got to try to figure this out now. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourself. Alan, did you have some Kiss, Japanese '78 stuff near you that you wanted to show?
No, I have nothing. Absolutely not. Of course I do. I'm surrounded by '78 Japan stuff at the moment.
Let's share some stuff. Get it in the. Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
That's it. If you only need one, that's the one you need, right?
That's right.
This magazine. This is my 4th copy, I think. That's my working copy. The one I read, the one I write in, the one I check.
Oh no, you write in it. Oh no,
your research copy.
Yes, it's a beat up copy.
Yeah.
Another. Oh yes, this is a very good one that I don't know. I've never seen or heard many people talk about it, but this is the Japanese comic book.
Yes, I desperately want a copy in my collection, but they are always very expensive.
Well, that's what happens when you desperately want something.
And guess what? They just went up 10% now that you said it.
That's right. That's right.
This is a very cool, special magazine by Young Rock. It's 90 pages, and it was released just before the tour, so 78. Well, of course, there were a few months delay. Of course, no surprise, the comic is in Japanese. But it's very high quality, very strong, sturdy paper, a lot of photos that were not in the original one, obviously, because it was done a few months later. So the comic is in Japanese. They're speaking Japanese. And plus they have all the other articles and some more photos.
That's incredible.
I don't even see that one being mentioned often, but definitely it's a high quality Kiss only magazine. You know that there aren't many. It's only Kiss, so that's a really, really good one that I recommend.
Incredible.
Do you know this magazine?
Not.
I do not either.
All right. So that's New Music Magazine, very short size, as you can see. It looks very small size. Gene's on the cover. There's several pages of interview with him that was done while he was in Tokyo. Of course, it's a bit of a challenge to read.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I made out powerful and attractive in there somewhere, and maybe gymnasium.
Yeah, it's actually very hard for me too, because yes, you can see it opens from the right.
Yeah.
And it goes from top to bottom. So that's very traditional Japanese style, which for me is very hard to read. As opposed to some other magazine that opens on the left and you can from left to right. This one is from right to opens from the right and it goes top to bottom. So it's
wow.
It's not my it's not easy. This one's great too. This is a big size magazine. Paul on the cover, of course on the tour. Not everything Kiss, as you can see. Chip Trick was there. But yeah, lots of very beautiful pictures of the band. So everything and more will be discussed in the Budokan 78 magazine.
Great.
What else?
So do you plan on covering the vinyl and all of that stuff in the magazine?
Yes, there will be a page on double platinum, a page on the solo albums, because that's what came in 78. But really, it's the title Budokan 78 is really a photo
extravaganza.
Thank you. It's a big word like gymnasium.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, it really Kiss in all its glory live on stage.
Yeah, that'll be killer, man. Can't wait to see it.
This is not 78 and it's not even Kiss, but it's pretty cool. I picked it up in a record store. It's an ad for Paul's concert.
Oh, killer! That's right. He's coming to Japan with Soul.
Yes, early January. Yes. Mm-hmm. So so this is, I guess, the Billboard bulletin, and so he's on the cover because he's actually, his show is advertised as the Billboard 10th anniversary premium stage. So they're celebrating their 10th anniversary.
Cool.
That club. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's in purple too. They certainly went for the pay attention to detail. That's always cool.
Yeah.
So that's fresh out of Tokyo. This, I don't know if anybody knows about this magazine, and I don't know if I should show it, otherwise it's going to be okay, my son's telling me good night.
Aww. Otherwise it's going to be what?
Otherwise it's going to be on eBay for hundreds of dollars. But no. It's a Music Life special from 1978. And it's called Rock Machine, and it's an unbelievable magazine which covers 1,001 players and their instruments.
Oh wow.
And it's from December 1978, and you have 1,000. Well, guess what? You have 1,001 musicians and their instruments, all detailed.
Wow.
It's just
Man.
if you like rock music in the 70s, this is the Bible, and it's very rare. I've never seen another copy.
No, I've never seen that.
And so I'll be discussing, of course, the portion of four guys in makeup.
So it does have all four members of KISS in it?
Yes, it does. Yes.
That is pretty cool, man. No, I've
So,
never
yeah.
heard of that.
So it's Japan in 78. So, and just to show you that you keep finding stuff all the time 40 years later. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
After I finished 77, I found more photos and I found more stuff that I had never seen before. I'm still discovering new magazine publications that I didn't know existed. You know, some guy, I don't know, passed away or decided to clean their house, and they dumped this thing in stores, and you see magazine titles that I'd never seen. I've been in Japan almost 20 years now, and it's the first time I see this light music, I think was the title, and you. So who knows what else is available? It's really, really fun.
Right, I'm sure they were stuck in tons of magazines back then, just little portions, and not featured, and there's no telling where you'll find them.
I'm sure it's just it's the same way probably as it is here in the U.S. As far as there are magazine titles that I find every now and then. I've never seen them before. I'd have to go digging for it right now, but I got one in a batch not too long ago, and I can't remember the name of the magazine, but Paul is on the cover looking at a pig's head. A pig's head.
What?
And I'm like, what is this? What is this crazy thing?
And when's that from? When was it from?
It would have been probably 77, 78, somewhere in there. I'd have to go digging through to find it now.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
But yeah, totally. And I'd never, and like I say, Al, here we are, man. 40 years later, I've not ever seen that. That's one good thing. You don't have to worry about too much about counterfeit paper goods like that. A magazine. I mean, I know some of the bigger titles it happens, but it's just not going to happen to some oddball magazine like that.
Yeah,
no value in it.
No, that's definitely true. So.
Yeah, so as you were mentioning, they're featured in magazines that are nondescript, that don't pay attention, but they will be covered in KISS Budokan 78.
Yay!
Excellent.
Yeah,
So I've uncovered a few articles that have really, I don't think many people are familiar with or have seen. So I always try to explain what it's about and try to translate bits and pieces to illustrate the story, because it's not always the big music life, of course, was the biggest, but there were also other publications and people, magazines giving a different angle, different view as well.
Yeah. I remember Tom and I going to another friend's home to take some photos of some posters, Japanese posters, and looking at his collection of Japanese magazines. And I didn't get deep into it because they were way up in the air. But there were, it was a wall of Japanese magazines and books and all kinds of publications. And I asked him, is KISS in every one of those? And he said, in every single one of them. KISS is in every single one of them. And it was hundreds of them, and I'm thinking, man, how do you even know that KISS is in the magazine when you're looking for that? You're looking at it on eBay. How do you know that? I don't know how he collected that stuff. It was mind-boggling to me, and I wish we would have had days to sit there and go through them all and look at the.
I didn't even get to see them.
It was on the back wall.
I was in the other room taking pictures.
I was just going, what in the world? And you could see all the Japanese writings on the spines and stuff like that. And he had, of course, all the common ones we know about. But it was just tons and tons and tons of publications that I'd never seen before. And he said KISS was in every one of them in some form or another, maybe one page or something. So there's no telling what's out there that where they're not featured I'm sure all around the world.
Oh, yeah.
On the inner pages, and it would be a killer thing to collect. But how do you know?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So
No, the magazines Kiss is in but not on the cover would be one of this is one. This would be another one.
yeah.
This would be another one.
Now I got okay. So these bring up a good question for me, Alan, and I apologize if I've asked you this before, but it always amazes me the stuff that is written in English for Japanese products. Like that Rock On magazine. Okay, there was no Japanese text beside it. What's
Rock Show?
What's the thoughts
The
on
Rock
that?
Show?
Yeah, like that. I mean, why do they have the title in English instead of Japanese?
Why do Westerners tattoo Japanese kanji on their skin?
That's a good question, because I think most of them probably got no idea if they actually got written on them what they thought they did.
I have some pretty funny stories about that, but
I bet you do. I'm sure it happens.
And just for the anecdote, there was a guy when I was in Brussels. He was talking on his phone. He was super loud. He was talking to the whole bus on the phone. And here he had a tattoo of a Japanese kanji that meant silence.
The pure
I'm not
definition
making
of
this
irony,
up.
man.
I'm not making that up. So to go back to your question, because for Japanese audience, it looks cool.
Okay. That's legit. That's legit.
Yes, that's
I think that's why we would use, Japanese here, and why people probably get it tattooed, because it looks cool. It's so different than what we're used to seeing.
And to be fair, I think that's one of the reasons why Japanese collectibles are so much sought after, because they look great.
Absolutely, 100%. Quality would probably be number one.
Yes.
And
Yes.
just looks cool as can be would be number two.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Very great attention to graphics and design. Just the obi, obviously, the obi is only Japanese,
Right.
and we think they're cool as hell. So,
Well, except for people that co-op it, like that BK3 record that's got an OB on it.
I can't believe somebody would do that. So.
Can't believe that either.
But yeah, and it's amazing how much cooler a piece of paper wrapped around a record, makes something look.
But what did we find out about that though? This might be one of the reasons why Japanese records weren't sealed. You try to seal a record that's got an OB on it sometime and see what happens to that OB. It's not pretty. Yeah, it's not pretty.
No, it's definitely not. So
that's right. They were in plastic sleeves, but never shrink wrap like the ones you see. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Excited. I've started the pre-orders, and I'm of course I'm still in the red, but orders are coming in, and I'm confident. I know that once when I show the cover of the magazine, I'm still working on it. When I show the cover of the magazine, I think I'll get a surge of orders.
Guaranteed.
And when the book is printed and people will see the magazine and see other people see the magazine and flip through the magazine, you will want one. But that will be too late, because there won't be any left.
That's right.
And I say that because it has happened twice before. So if you are interested and you would like a copy, please send me an email, pre-order before it's too late, because I'm not going to print thousands.
I pre-ordered mine as soon as I saw the message on Facebook that you were taking orders, so I went ahead and pre-ordered.
I did the same, and I would encourage everybody to do it, because again, Alan's got a track record of putting out good quality stuff, gets it out on time, and you need to support this if you want to see it happen for sure.
Yep. So on the screen, Bellish, BALISH @gmail.com, correct?
Correct.
You can get Kiss Budokan 78, the companion or the follow-up to what takes Tokyo 77. So
Takes Tokyo 77, yes.
And
the little brother.
The little brother. That's great. And since we didn't mention it earlier, you can pick up the Kiss My Wax, Kiss LP Bibles at therockologists.com, plural. And hey, volume 2.
Volume 2 and 3. I can show you the 3 too, but I can't show you the 1 yet.
Yeah. But I do know that were we about 300 copies or so left to sell online?
Less than that now.
Less than that now.
There's been a crazy surge this last week.
Yeah.
There's less than 300 copies left online.
Because people have seen people having it.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
And so we're going to be at the Atlanta Expo on January the 20th. Happy birthday, Paul Stanley, with Kiss My Collectibles and the Rockologists. And we'll have about 100 sets there with us. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you can get Tom to sign it and purchase it there while supplies last. And I assume that thing will probably be sold out by the first, maybe February or something like that. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to sell out. So I mean, it's the main thing. Tom's not going to be staring at stacks of them for a long time anyway.
That's right. So, all right, gentlemen. Anything else we need to cover?
I think that's it for me.
That's it for me too.
So, we want to thank Alain. Joining us really late at night over in Japan and really early in the morning over here in the United States.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yes, and please pick up his book very soon, or his magazine very soon. And if that's it, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Kiss My Collectibles, your source for vinyl, toys, bootlegs, and more. Visit us online at kissmycollectibles.com.